Kia ora. I'm Heather Roberts from Just Kai. We're a group of Kiwis who are working to end slavery in the supply chains of our food. That might sound like an odd thing to be doing. After all, didn't slavery end years ago? But sadly it didn't, and goods produced using slave labour can be found in any supermarket here in New Zealand. The International Labour Organization estimates there are about 50 million people working in conditions of slavery today. Some of them are in the construction industry, in domestic service. You've probably heard about people in the sex industry. But what you might not know is there are about 8 million people who are working in the production of physical goods for sale. These are people who are mining minerals that go into our cell phones. They're working on fishing boats, in agriculture, working in the factories where our clothes are made. And at Just Kai, we're particularly interested in those people because those people work for us. That's a bit of a shocking thought, but it's also an opportunity. Because we're the buyer, we can change the economics of this situation and make it less likely that people will be enslaved in the first place. What are the things we buy that are most likely to have slavery in their supply chains? The highest risk thing is electronics, so mobile phones and laptops and so on, followed by clothing, and then fish, cocoa and sugar. When it comes to electronics, there's a group called Know the Chain who are doing really good work on slavery in the supply chains of electronics. And for clothing, Chair Fund puts out the Ethical Fashion Guide that provides really good guidance there. So we focus on the food, the fish, the cocoa and the sugar. And we've been contacting companies and asking them if they can demonstrate that there's no child labour and no forced labour in their supply chain, right back to the original fishing boat and farm. And not just that they hope that there isn't, but that they can demonstrate that those things haven't happened. From this we found a lot of detail, and I just want to give you a few brief pointers now. If you'd like to know more, please go to our website, justkai.org.nz, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter, where you can see the latest research. We're Just Kai NZ. The food that's at highest risk of slave labour in its supply chain is fish. And the simplest thing that you can do there is to buy from Sealord. They do excellent work checking right back to the original fishing boats and all the factories where it's processed to make sure that there's no slave labour and no child labour. And they also produce a really wide range of fish products and also have a budget brand called Captain's Choice that does fish fingers and crumbed fish. On our website you can also see buying guides for salmon, for tinned fish, shellfish and prawns, pet food, fish oil supplements and so on. When it comes to cocoa, there are reliable certifications that you can look for on the packaging of the products that you're buying. And they tell you that someone has checked for the slave labour and for the child labour on the cocoa farm. There's the Fair Trade logo on the left that you're likely familiar with, and it's used fairly widely. In the middle there's the little circle with the people in it. That's the World Fair Trade Organization logo which TradeAid uses. And then at the right there's the green frog in a circle. That's the Rainforest Alliance logo, which used to primarily be an environmental certification, but now has really good human welfare criteria as well. And you'll see that on Milo, on Whittaker's chocolate bars, and Kit Kats, trumpet ice cream, and things like that. Similarly for sugar, there are certifications you can look for. The one at the top, Bon Sucro, is only used in New Zealand by Countdown. You'll see that on their home brand sugar. And again, it means people have been checking for child labour and forced labour. Underneath on the left there's the World Fair Trade Organization. You'll see that from TradeAid. You can buy TradeAid sugar in some supermarkets or directly from them. And then the Fair Trade logo, you don't see that on any actual bags of sugar, but you see it on some really sugary things like the Karma Drinks range, for example, are Fair Trade certified for their sugar. So it's just a wee introduction. If you'd like to know more, I encourage you to check out our website or follow us on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, where you can follow our latest findings. Thank you.